Comments for the week ending June 26 for the beef farmers of Ontario. There were 449 head of fed steers and heifers sold through auction marts this week, up 5 head from the previous week. Fed steers averaged $305.37 per hundredweight, down $8.24, and heifers averaged $306.71, down $1.98 from the previous week. In Ontario, dress sales were reported at $5.20 per hundredweight delivered, $10 lower than prices seen 2 weeks ago. For the week ending June 14th, Eastern Canadian fed cattle and cow exports to the U.S. totaled 2,666 head, 43% below last year, but 14% above the 5-year average. Year-to-date, Eastern Canadian fed cattle and cow exports are up 19% from last year. Cull cow receipts sold through auction marts this week were 1,274 head, down 446 head from the previous week. Cows averaged $183.47, down $2.02 from the previous week. Beef cows averaged $207.43, up $7.62. Auction marts reported on Tuesday that fed cows sold at strong prices. By Thursday, fed cows sold steady. Receipts of 2,795 stockers and feeder cattle sold through Ontario auction marts last week, down 1,349 head from the previous week. Auction marts reported on Tuesday that stockers sold actively at very strong prices, while yearlings were fetching premiums. By Thursday, stockers continued to trade strong at firm prices. The Ontario electronic sale sold at $5.21 per hundredweight, dressed on a picked-up basis, up $1 from the previous week. Last week, Alberta fed prices averaged in the upper 290s per hundredweight, $1 per hundredweight lower than the previous week. Dress sales were reported from 500 to 504 delivered, steady to $2 lower. Buying interest was noted from all Western Canadian packers. U.S. packer interest was limited. By Wednesday, June 25th, trade developed with dress sales reported from $4.98 to $5.03 per hundredweight, $1 to $2 lower than the previous week. For the week ending June 21st, Western Canadian fed processing was 40,704 head, 4.9% lower than last year. The U.S. cash cattle trade last week saw dress sales in the northern feeding states from $365 to $368 per hundredweight, $10 per hundredweight lower than the previous week. Live sales were reported from $232 to $233, $4 lower. Sales in Texas and Kansas were from $223 to $225 live, $5 to $6 softer. Last week's cattle processed was estimated at 560,000 head. Processing volumes usually peak in June, however that has not been the case as we are looking at the smallest processing volume seen this year. On the feed grain market, the weather premium is coming out of the market. The December corn contract did set new lows last week. This is Rodger with the Beef Farmers of Ontario Market Information.